Hello, today we will be talking about closet shelves. So the main point is how I build closet shelves that actually work. I hate closet shelves that don't work because they don't work. So I use clear pine as the cleats, and I use MDF as the actual shelf units. So I have a little light with me, so it's not too dark, hopefully, like the last video I just shot was. So the pine cleats for the edges that I use for the hanger rod are 1x4, and I leave them at 1x4, and I get them from Foxworth Galbraith because they have a rounded and softened edge on them, which takes caulk around the corners really well and doesn't hurt your fingers when you're messing with it. And so for the back edges and for shelves that don't have a rod, I cut that cleat in half, rip it on a table saw. And then for the middle support, about every 4 feet, I put supports in. And for big closets like this, I use a 12-inch shelf basically. So I use a 12-inch MDF shelf, and the difference between this regular MDF and the shelf MDF is that it has a rounded edge on the front that you can see, and there's no way to be able to really create that edge at home, so you have to just buy the boards, but they're actually really decently priced, and if you have a Foxworth nearby, they're cheaper than Home Depot. And not to mention, Home Depot only sells 16-inch and 12-inch. Foxworth sells 24-inch also, which I have in the laundry room, which I'll show later. So basically you just put the height that you want, and I always try to keep my rods at least 5 feet off the ground, because if they're not at least 5 feet off the ground, there's going to be not enough distance from the ground to the rod to be able to have some of those longer evening gowns and things that people put in the closet. So I allow 16-inch spacing between shelves, and make sure that the height of your doorway, some crazy shadows going on, the height of your doorways doesn't interfere, because this distance from here to here is going to inflict about what you can put into it. And so I like to use the 12-inch shelf on top and a 16-inch shelf in the middle, and that allows me about 16 inches of space between there and there, so I can fit boxes like that in there. And so I use 15 gauge nails in my Hitachi nailer to nail it in. I do about 2 nails every 6 inches or so on the 4-inch cleats, and I do 1 nail about every 8 inches on the what basically will become 1x2 cleats. And then I caulk all the edges, and then I'll paint the whole thing later. This is kind of what it looks like after caulk. I shoot nails into the back corner here and from the top to hold these rods, because I do not like closet rods to spin. I think well, I just don't like it. They peel paint quicker and things with all the friction and you just usage, and kids play with things that move more than they don't. So these shelves here on the side are 16 inches on center. I just cut a 45-degree angle on all the front of my cleats, and so it makes it look neater and cleaner. And then the other thing that I do is the shadow's messing me all up. The distance here, how I judge that, how far out is for a 16-inch shelf, I just make them 14 inches. So a 12-inch shelf, I make them 10 inches. So my side cleats, I just make them 2 inches shorter to their front edge here, and then I just cut that off about 3/4 way up the bottom, so, or 3/4 inches up the bottom. So that's basically it. So I will show more later. Thanks. Bye. This is Joshua again for some shelving descriptions. This unit hasn't been caulked yet. I just wanted to get the shelves up so my wife could use them. But the top shelf is a 24-inch shelf, so for large bulky items. This is in our little laundry room here. And the bottom shelf is a 16-inch shelf, so we have more room to move that, as you can imagine. So it makes it look kind of neat with the top shelf a little longer, but it has the same cleat system and everything. The only thing different I wanted to show here was the way I do my center supports. You don't really want to span anything more than 4 feet, and so in the middle of this closet, which is about 7'6", or no, this one was only 6 feet, I do a 45-degree angle with a 1x4. And so I use construction adhesive behind all the cleats and behind my little angle plate, which this one's a little more visible. And then I just make it about ½ inch longer on each end of this plate, so it's about ½ inch from there to the board, and then another ½ inch from there to the bottom. And then I just cut 45 on all the edges there. And then on these, I will not only nail it from the front into it, I'll also, when it's off, I'll nail it from this into here. And so it'll usually shoot 2 or 3 nails this way, and this is glued. And then I nail that, and then I put this on the wall with nails, and this is glued then to the wall also, and then this is glued to here, and I nail it from the top down, 3 nails or so. And I'll also, sometimes I'll shoot here in. I use 1 3/4 inch nails, so they go in to everything pretty solidly, and with the 15 gauge nailer. So that's how I do center supports and things where I don't want to have a full vertical support rod. So thank you, bye.